jazz emphasizes this, and blues emphasizes this, and country emphasizes this, you know? But where they all start is in this beautiful, sort of boiling American music pot.
Gus Cannon popularized jug bands, a precursor to country music in the 1920s. These bands used homemade instruments including a jug player, a washboard, and the banjo. Gus Cannon, along with his Cannon's Jug Stompers, had songs called Walk Right In, Pretty Mama Blues, and Pig Ankle Strut. Even Thomas Jefferson mentioned the banjo while writing about African captives in a footnote of On the State of Virginia. Quote, the instrument proper to them, African slaves, is the banjo, which they brought here from Africa.
Banjo, second only to the fiddle early on, came to America as a gourd with a fretless neck brought by slaves from Africa.
It's a drum. You know, this thing came from Africa. This thing is part of a long tradition. They've got hieroglyphics of these at the pyramids in Giza.
It's America, but it's got Africa in it.
The banjo eventually became the instrument of choice for many musicians in the 19th century.
There's something mysterious about the sound of a 5-string banjo, or even a 4-string banjo. It doesn't make you sad. It makes you feel better. The banjo is a sound that captures people. It's hard to ignore because it's so percussive.
To mark Black History Month at the Opry without recognizing past Opry member and Country Music Hall of Famer DeFord Bailey. Bailey was one of the earliest stars of the Opry, but was dismissed from the show in 1941. Accounts of why that happened vary, but it's clear the decision hurt not only Bailey, but the Opry and others. In August of last year, the Grand Ole Opry shared a statement reading in part, "Neither country music nor the Grand Ole Opry would exist without the impact and influence of diverse artists and multiple cultures. But over the course of nearly 100 years, the Opry has at times been a part of a problem within country music, suppressing the contributions of our diverse community. This included the dismissal of early Black Opry star DeFord Bailey more than 80 years ago. While the Opry cannot change mistakes of the past, we acknowledge them. We're sorry for hurt those decisions caused then and now, and we vow to be a leader in creating a welcoming and inclusive future for country music." 6 months later, as we recognize the career and music of DeFord Bailey as a part of Black History Month, that apology remains sincere and that commitment remains strong.
Since DeFord Bailey decades earlier, the first Black artist to have a #1 country record. He is also the first artist of any race to win the Country Music Association's Male Vocalist Award 2 years in a row. Pride's ability as a pitcher landed him a spot in the Negro League's Memphis Red Sox when he was just 16. Brief stints with different leagues followed, including an initially promising season with a New York Yankees farm team before an injury sidelined him. It was while playing on a semi-pro team in Montana, the East Helena Smelterites, that Charlie, blessed with a deep, resonant voice and a longtime love of country music, began performing in local bars. Charlie's first singles were released without any mention of his race, and early publicity photos were withheld. Audiences were surprised at his live shows when he would walk out on stage for the first time. Often, he remembers, the venue would fall completely silent. One of the most successful country singers ever, he would go on to have 29 #1 country hits, 52 top 10s, and 12 gold albums. He has parlayed his entertainment successes into an equally successful business career, making his mark in Texas real estate and banking in the North Dallas community where he and wife Rosine make their home. In 2000, Charley Pride was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Blackface is long and complex and deeply ingrained in our culture.
Who was that lady I saw you with this afternoon? That was no lady. That was my wife.
Even Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd blacked up.
Can a lady sing this song? Do that, do that. Can't tell me,